You literally wrote the book on the Kennedys, Ask Not. And it's a great book, and it's such a fun, quick read. Every single character is more interesting than the next. Some of the most interesting Kennedys were ones I didn't even really know much about, like Kit Kennedy, who was like one of the forgotten Kennedys. But in there, we covered JFK Jr. quite a bit, and there are just alarming stories about him and his bride, Carolyn Bessette. And now all of it's being rewritten by CNN, Maureen, which is dropping this, quote, documentary called The American Prince. And I think that's the name of it. And you have been pointing out that this sounds like it's going to be a complete work of fiction. But once again, CNN will call it a documentary and people will believe it. So what about it do you believe is a lie?
All of it, except for his name, So it's 3 parts. This is how CNN is going to try to get their ratings back up. George Clooney is, yesterday's news. So let's exhume the body, or what remained of the body, of JFK Jr. And then let's get people who, there are talking heads on this thing who know nothing and had no connection to JFK Jr. or Carolyn Bessette or any of the Kennedys, who are sitting there opining as if they're experts. So it's a total FU to the viewing audience. And then you have my favorite Kennedy adjacent person of all time. We did a whole segment on Carol Radziwill.
I heard this. And is she the daughter-in-law of, is it Lee Radziwill, who was Jackie's sister, right? She was Jackie's sister, and she married this Radziwill, and she had this daughter. So this daughter is a niece to Jackie Kennedy.
So yes, Carol was married to Anthony Radziwill, Lee's son.
So not even a blood niece. She's a married-in niece.
She married in. She married into the Bouvier side. Okay, there's no Kennedy blood in the Radziwill bloodline.
Yep.
And Carol, I think, from all of my reporting on John and Carolyn, these two were masters at making people feel they were closer to them than they really were. So Carol Radziwill, late of Real Housewives of New York, has been going around town since they died, saying Carolyn was my best friend. We were like sisters. I don't know if you know, but John was my cousin through marriage. John, you may have heard of him. John Kennedy Jr. I mean, you die. And then we aired this. She did this. This is the esteem, the very serious regard with which Carol Radziwill holds these legacies, and she's their self-appointed torchbearer. Do you remember this kid? Tyler Henry, who had a show on the E! Network called Hollywood Medium.
Oh, yes.
And, so Carol went on Tyler's show, where Tyler pretends just to be a hick. I mean, he may have his own show in which he's doing readings for celebrities with, again, his way of buying time with them, like his branding is he takes a pen and a pad of paper and he scribbles. That's the spirit coming through. Well, he scribbles. So he's scribbling while Carol's in this well-appointed townhouse, and he's going, I have no idea who you are.
Sure.
I have no idea who your loved ones are, but what's coming through to me? A young woman who died tragically. Oh, you don't say? You don't say? Like the woman whose death made global headlines. It's and it's Carol taking it all so seriously, and it's to die. But so
wait, we got to play a clip of this gal. We got to let the audience see who this gal is. Let's do SOT 3, because I know what she says here isn't true. It's a very short clip. SOT 3.
She didn't play the game. She didn't suck up to anyone. No one in his family. She was just hi.
Carolyn Bessette did not suck it up to anybody. And I know from our previous discussions in your book, that's a lie. Carolyn Bessette Kennedy was dying to add that Kennedy to her name.
She studied John and his life with the fervor of a Talmudic scholar. She had that copy of 1988 Sexiest Man Alive People cover stashed under her sink. She really, really wanted it. She worked hard at making it seem like she didn't want it. And he offered it her terribly, but she sort of mastered the art of like, I don't care that much, but she behind the scenes, I mean, I detail it in the book. She was doing everything she could to get in front of this guy and land him and keep him. And then she got him and she was like, I don't want this. This is awful.
Even like an image makeover, that she wasn't like this effortlessly chic, elegant person before she realized she might have the chance to date him.
No, she really went about, like one of her friends told me that Carolyn hated exercise, hated it. And that she would hide that she went to this ballet bar class uptown. She was secretly doing it. And she was like doing everything she could to like cut like 20 pounds of weight. And then the hair went like super white platinum. And then we started dressing exclusively in like Japanese designers, like very avant-garde and severe. And then it was like the red lip with like no other make, it was like a very calculated attempt to make herself into a future first lady befitting the bride of JFK Jr. It was all architected.
So now none of that will be in the CNN documentary because they feel like they're just going to do American Prince and Princess. This is royalty. They're Kennedys, obviously Democrats. We will not be getting similar treatment for Ivanka Trump or Melania Trump. And you've got this Carol Radziwill, who's all you had to say was Real Housewife alum to know exactly what we're dealing with here, who's running around in this documentary and elsewhere trying to pretend like she's the expert. Meanwhile, everything she's saying totally contradicts with what you've reported based on people who actually spent a lot of time with these two.
Yeah, I have to wonder what Carolyn's really close friends think of this one running her mouth at any given opportunity. And I'm going to be watching the final episode this weekend with a very, very surgical eye because they're going to cover the deaths. And they're going to cover, and I think this I think transcends pop culture. I think this is a very sick thing for the body politic in America. And it's the reason why people distrust mainstream legacy news outlets. On The Nerve on Tuesday, we're going to be talking about what those deaths really looked like. People don't talk about that. The carnage at the bottom of that ocean that he caused deliberately. This wasn't a tragic accident. This isn't the stuff of Zeus striking down Icarus, who flew too close to the sun. This was done by a guy with a death wish that is well chronicled, and not just a death wish for himself, but as I wrote about in the book, he had a longtime girlfriend who he almost killed, I'm going to say at least three times.
So what do we think the effect of the sparring between President Donald Trump and the Fed is going to be? Can the Fed take the right action at the right time? Do we trust in that? Or are we going to be looking at a potential economic slowdown as they slow roll any of their moves as they worry about his tariffs? And what exactly does all of this mean for your savings? You might want to consider diversifying right about now with gold through Birch Gold Group. For decades, gold has been viewed as a safe haven in times of economic stagnation, global uncertainty, and high inflation. And Birch Gold makes it incredibly easy for you to diversify some of your savings into gold. If you have an IRA or old 401k, you can convert that into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold, or just buy some gold to keep it in your safe. First, get educated. Birch Gold will send you a free info kit on gold. Just text MK to the number 989898. Again, text MK to 989898, and you'll start the process of just getting the 411 on what it means to own gold. Consider diversifying a portion of your savings into gold. So if the Fed cannot stay ahead of the curve for the country, at least you can stay ahead of the curve for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.